Hi there, welcome to Candid Conversations. Our channel is Candid Conversations, Zoomed In, and Candid Comments video channel. My name is Cliff, and we're doing a candid comment today, and it's going to be about the situation here in Hamilton with the cyber attack and its continuing effects. So, back in February, there was an incident where somebody decided, or a group of somebodies, or possibly a foreign actor, decided to get into the Hamilton city and its servers and basically caused all kinds of havoc and wreaked all kinds of mess upon the city of Hamilton, demanding ransom for the data that they took or held hostage. And of course, the city said, "We're not going to pay." So that meant that those networks that were affected basically were affected in such a manner that the city has had to go and rebuild the IT networks that they have, and a lot of things got affected. Transit, libraries, other parts like getting a job at the city were affected. The whole range of services that were affected is vast within the city. So interesting to see that a modern city like Hamilton got hit with a group or possibly an individual who knew well enough how to plan and how to do this, and basically hack in, get the data, hijack the networks, and basically say, "Pay me money, or you don't get this stuff back." And the city said, "Well, we're not going to do that," and that's exactly what happened. Interestingly enough, the impact is still out there. There are still things that the city has to do as far as rebuilding networks and getting them back up and running. And this includes even phone lines that basically got down because of this. One of the most interesting ones was, of course, the other day I was on my way to Toronto, and I'd wanted to go and do some printing. And um, I had to go actually and print at another location in the city and basically pay a little bit of money for it, which I didn't mind doing at the end of the day because I still got to go to my event in Toronto. But normally I would have gone to the Hamilton Public Library. I would have gone onto a computer. I would have logged in and keyed up what information I needed, and then I would have gone forward and printed it out. But when I walked into the library at the Kenilworth location, the systems were not operational, and they said, "Well, that's been since February. We're still working on it." I was befuddled by that. I was like, "I was doing this. What? I mean, by now, shouldn't this be fixed?" But you can imagine that it's going to take some time, and they're doing top down. Like, what's priority, what's not as much priority, and what's as you go down the list, what's the least affected thing that we can sort of put on the shelf for a while. Because rebuilding a network is really really hard, because you have to look for and try and find whatever data was corrupted or destroyed and see if you can reconstruct it. And it is a time consuming task. So this is going to take a lot longer than just a couple of weeks or a couple of days to fix. In other words, what I'm saying here is that the people that did this, they did a good job of it. And I'm not praising them, obviously, but they did a good job of it enough to say that they really whacked our city pretty good. So it goes to show you that even in modern times, modern cities like Hamilton, which is a very large city, can get into a situation where it finds itself being in the middle of something that they didn't expect. So that's what happened here. Hamilton got really pinned down, and I think that it teaches us all that the importance of being aware of what's going on with our computer systems is important. We need to make sure that we have proper protections, such as antivirus software. Um, Also, maybe a VPN might be in order for yourself, whether it's on your computer or on your laptop. If you have a laptop, most people do. Not too many people with desktop computers, or even your phone or your tablet. You might want to consider having these things on there. And the reason is because people do try to get information. And most people really are after is not the machine itself. They're looking for the data. They're looking for your card information, your address, all that stuff. And I work in a call center, and my job basically is to ensure that that does not get touched. And I can tell you, we've had problems in the call center. Well, somebody actually decided to try a hack with us about a year or two ago, and downed our systems for a couple of days. So even we got hit, but fortunately, we were able to recover it. It wasn't so severe like what happened with the city, but it was enough to make us think, "Ooh, okay." So there's a lot of stuff built in security wise. And of course, for different campaigns like the one I work on, there are compliance things. And so you might, for example, I'm going to sort of do a little bit of a tales from the cube kind of thing here. You might sort of call up a call center, or not sort of, but you might call up a call center about your account, and the advisor might say, "Well, can you tell me what number you're calling me from?" And you might think, "Well, you have the number in front of you," but the reason why we're doing this stuff, and the reason why a lot of people are now really doing that kind of thing, asking you for the information, is because we want to make sure you're you. So I have no problem with that. Even with my bank, my bank says, "Well, give me, show me your card." When I go in and do banking, I put my card in the reader at the teller's desk, and they read it. They can pull up the account. And all this is basically to protect our infrastructures and networks, and also outside for the companies that we deal with, whether it's the electric company, the phone company, they need to protect our data as well. My data is just as important as my customers' data. So I want protection too. I want to be able to know that I can trust a bank or a phone company or any other people like a lender. I do have that kind of thing going on. I won't say what, but let's say I wanted, or if I do have a lender that I work with, I want to make sure that I'm protecting myself. So the bottom line is, uh, I want to make sure that all of the things that I have in play here are protected. And even my computer, what I make sure to do when I leave is I make sure my machine is off. It's not even on. And in some cases, I have thought, maybe I should de-energize it completely by unplugging. So we're taking out the network connection. And the reason for that is simply to avoid the risk of somebody getting in there and start doing things that they're not supposed to do. So a little bit of advice for you as an individual: think about your data as a treasure trove of information that somebody could use to do things that you didn't want them to do, including spending money that's not your money, and doing things that are criminal in nature that could get you in trouble. And basically, you want to guard that. And it starts with your online presence, what you put on the internet. And that's why one of the reasons I was online a little while ago and I said, "Hey, look, you understand that this is my brand, this is how I want to manage it." And it's not because I'm trying to be rude or don't want comments or anything like that. But the bottom line is that my brand is important. So data that's out there, I want to make sure that I'm protecting it, and that starts with the online presence. Making sure that my posts are professional looking, that they're good, that they make sense, people like them. There's a bit of humor, yes, but I also make sure that that humor now is a lot more family friendly, so to speak, because the bottom line is that it could really lead to some problems. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I make sure that what data is on there is not going to be easily uh, purged into somebody else's system, like pulled in there. So um, I would simply, even on your things like your Facebook, um, don't have have enough information, but don't have tons of information, like your address, where you work, and stuff like that. You don't need to go into details. I mean, just, and even if you did have that information, make sure it's just basic info. You don't have to give your actual location of your workplace to everybody out there, because it's not necessary, and it's also a risk factor. So Mitigating risk is what I'm saying here. You want to mitigate risk, and you want to make sure that what you're doing basically protects yourself. And you know, the cyber attack here in Hamilton proves that even a big city can get nailed. So you can too, and you have to take care of your data. You have to ensure that your data is secured by VPN or other means, and of course, what you put on there should be not overly robust, but enough to basically give people an idea of who you are. Because you don't want to be super secretive either, because that also looked weird. But you want to just sort of have a fine balance of what it is you're putting out there. Not too much, not too little. Just enough that people kind of understand, oh, this is who this person is. But you don't, if you go into too much detail, like giving out your address, giving your work address, giving your phone numbers and stuff like that out there, you're setting yourself up for something that you really don't want. And that's the breach of your data. So take your security into your hands and make sure that you do what you need to do. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. Find the right balance, and you'll see this working in your favor. And the other thing too to remember is that, like I said, if a big city like Hamilton gets in trouble, so can you. So you have to be vigilant, and vigilance is not a bad thing. It's just being smart. So that's it. That's what I wanted to basically touch on today. Thank you very much for dropping into our website here on YouTube. It is Candid Conversations, zoomed in and comments video channel. I really, really am so happy to see people coming in and looking at our stuff, and or my stuff rather. Your input is also important and wanted. If you do leave a comment, please make sure that it's clean, it's respectable, and it meets the standards that the YouTube community has, and of course that I have. Because basically, again, I want to point out that while I enjoy reading comments, there are some things that I just will basically target and say that's not going to be something we're gonna let go. So um, always be, in my opinion, I would say if you're going to give a comment out or you're going to feedback before you're keying in, be careful of what it is you want to put on there and think about what you're going to do, because what you do may come back to you, and you might not like the result. So think about that before you comment. But certainly, I would like comments. I'd like subscriptions, likes, and followers. Always like that. Please, please do share the videos. Do even make suggestions as to who you'd like to see me interview, and we'll go forward from there. I truly appreciate you, and I hope that you have a really good rest of your day. Once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.